Mm. So everybody, the videos so far have covered the introduction to ProMonitor and also the introduction to the Markbook. This video covers the automations on the Markbook where you can get it to automatically assign grades and calculations which you may have done on spreadsheets previously if you haven't already done this in ProMonitor. So yes, if set up correctly, it's possible for ProMonitor to automate the assigning of grades at a sort of higher level and doing the weightings and working out the average percentages, depending again on the what course it is, what kind of course it is, and what's applicable for that course. And obviously the courses are all quite different, so the rules needed for each one are different. Lots of this is set up already, and it's just a question of ensuring that the correct student group, as in that your course, has the correct student group type assigned to it. If there's one available, and if there's not one available, and you've checked, the other ones that are there, and then more can be set up. But we don't want to be setting up ones that already exist because it just makes the list longer. So try and keep the list as short as possible, but obviously making sure that we've got all the ones we need to ensure that it's doing what it needs to do to calculate. So the this course will cover a BTEC example, which will have a PMD criteria, and then put some grades in to show how that marks. And then a foundation degree markbook setup, which could apply to lots of other types of courses as well, where again we're replicating a spreadsheet on the markbook and where the calculations are done automatically without having to do formulas in spreadsheets. So it should be a lot easier once it's set up, and it's not too difficult to set up. So if we start by going to the test student group, which is this one here. And then, first of all, yeah, create some units if you've not done that. And go to Markbook by group. And then you see that the unit are some set up here, which I've imported earlier. And then if I go to assessments, oh, hang on, if I go to assessments here, you see that there aren't any assessments because the none have been set up yet. So to set assessments up, we just need to add some. So if you press on this, so if you press here, there's nothing. So do the spanner and then create some assessments. I'll just create two for now. So one, you can add learning outcomes as well and what type it is. So say this one is an assignment and it's out of 100 points, a weighting of one. We'll just leave that as default for now. And then add another one, which is going to be ASSO2, assessment 2. And another assignment and add that one. You might want to put weighting of 0.5 and zero point 0.5 if it's wanting to calculate as one in total. But again, it depends on the type of course. So that's the assessments created. And then if you go to maintain task, we then go to create some. So this is a BTEC type course. We need to create the pass criteria, the merit criteria, and the distinction criteria. So if you press add new, and then on task code, we'll say this is P01, which is P criteria 01. These come up because I've already been through this for creating the Word document guide, so that it remembers the previous ones I've added. You can add the learning outcomes here. So what are the past learning outcomes, which is possibly being able to um, explain at a basic level a certain topic, for example. Add that one, and then we'll add another one of those, which is going to be a PO2, pass P criteria 2, add that one, then add M1 and 2, that's that one, and then another one. I haven't got VO2 there. So I've got two P's, two M's, two D's. So that adds those criteria on, and then it might be that, for example, if all the P1s and the M1s and the D1 relate to assignment one, and then the P2, the M2, and the D2 relate to assignment two, you can link which of the tasks link to which assessments. So if you go task allocation down on the left side of the menu, on the left menu, and then we'll say that assignment one is going to be P1, M1, and D1. Assessment two is going to be P2, M2, and D2, and save that. Then when you run the Markbook, it'll filter it. So if you go to so that's the Markbook setup essentially for, well, at least one unit. We have to do with the other units as well. But so go back to the course detail of the student group, back to the Markbook by group, and then now if you go to the task, it shows you everything. But then if you say just want to look at assessment one, then it just shows you P1, M1, and D1. So it makes it easy to mark, because if you want to say this person met this, and this person met maybe just the merit criteria, and then this person only met the pass criteria, then you can just tick them and then press save. And then if you go back to the assessments, you see then that Emily's been graded as a D, Ben's been graded an M, and James has been graded as a P. And here's a few units, so it take time on this video to set them all up, which should take too long. Um, but as the tasks are allocated to the automatic grade to the assessments, if the if there was only a unit, so if all the assessments were done, it would do it at the unit level as well. But actually, no, we can do it because it's only one. It's just for this unit. So at the moment, there's nothing there for this unit. So if we go to tasks again, and then at the moment we've only filled in the first assessment. So say if we were then marking the second assessment, then we'll just to keep it simple, we'll say the students have done as well on the second assignment they did on the first assessment. So Emily's done the pass, the merit, and the distinction. Ben's managed the merit criteria, and James only managed the pass criteria of the second one, and then save that one. If you then go back to the unit, you should find then that it's put the points in and it's put the overall grade for the unit in, and it's also put the date completed in as well. So that's automated all of that. And I've only done mark the first three, which is why the last three are still empty. And then that covers the BTEC. And because you look at the Markbook rules, it basically tells you when all P tasks are completed, grade the unit of P. So these are the rules being applied because of that Markbook type that's been set against the course. And if it's not right, you can set the Markbook type, because you want it to be right, otherwise it's going to not grade things correctly. And if you're using the Markbook, the student group types as well, you need to ensure that you're marking things at the lowest level correctly. Because if, for example, you mark half the tasks, um, and then you put a manual assessment grade in, then if you've got a Markbook rules apply that are calculating that from the tasks that are marked, it'll overwrite it back to an automatic one. So you've got to complete. I mean, if you don't have Markbook rules on, then you could just manually put the overall unit in. But the idea is that you track the progress as you would on your spreadsheets as the students are completing the task. And then if you've got the Markbook rules on and you've got the tasks completed fully, then it'll automate the levels above if there's a suitable student group type available, and if there's not, one should be able to be set up that can do that, assuming it's possible with the way our qualification work, which in general it would be. So that was that one. So the next one is to look at a foundation degree setup. which so then I've got to clear down this markbook that I've created for this group. So go back to just go to my scripts and just delete this. This is a back-end function which you wouldn't be doing, but just to quickly wipe out the markbook for training purposes. So it's gone again. There we go. And then I need to go to the so this one I need to change the student group type to be the correct one for a foundation degree. So if I go to the this one and then go to the maintain student group, change it to be a foundation degree. Just need to find that. I go CCC foundation degree and then save that. And then just let me check that. Yeah, it's fine. So now go back to the student group. And now we need to, we're going to set up some tests. So if we do it, go back to the Markbook by group and say, for example, that the unit is going to be a module of a foundation degree. So we'll say that we'll create a new unit. We'll call it FIF 202 and we'll say it's database systems development and then put that as level 6 and save that. And that's the unit created. And then inside that we need to create the assessments, which we're going to weight different amounts to so that it will create essentially this. If I go to this folder, look at the student group tracker, you'll see this has a test which is out of 100. Just make that a bit bigger so you can see it. A test out of 100, which is weighted 20%. Another test that's weighted 20% out of 100, and an assignment out of 90 that's weighted at 20% also. And then finally an exam out of 100 that's weighted at 40%. And so we've got on this spreadsheet, we've got 52 out of 100 is 52%. If you weight that at 20% of an overall mark, it's 10.4%. And if you add together the weighted percentages, you end up with 64.36%. So we take the student as an example of what we want to get to. We should be able to achieve that final mark that matches this number here. So what we'll do is go back to the student group and we'll say maintain assessments underneath this unit, and then we'll create, so let's create test 01. I prepared these drop downs earlier. So we'll say this is a practical test and it's going to be weighted as 0.2. Save that. I'm going to add another test, which is test 2, to replicate what's on the spreadsheet, which is going to be test 2. And again, it's going to be practical, weighted at 0.20%, which is 0.2, and out of 100 again, so that's correct already. And then we need to do an exam, because the next one, was it an exam next? Assignment next. Add another one. I'll say this is an ASSO1, and it's going to be assignment 1, and it's going to be assignment in the type, and this one's out of 90, just so it's different. And this is weighted at also 20%, 0.2, and then save that. And then we're going to have another one, which is the exam, the last one to add. It's going to be exam 01, exam 01, type is exam, it's out of 100, and it's 40%, so that's 0.4. So that's added now. So that's the four parts of this which match what's on here set up. So that's the base setup done. And if you look at the so go back to the student group type, sorry, the student group, and then go to the Markbook by group. Then you see the Markbook rules are, so use the average completed assessment percentage as a unit mark, and then if all assessments are completed, then the unit's completed. So if we go to the student, the first student, to sort of say that they're student 01, so down here, assessments, and pick assessment 1. Well, sorry, do it in the same order, it's logical. Test 1, so that student 01 got 52 out of 100, so 52 out of 100, say it's marked today, and then save that, and then look at test 2, and test 2 was 44% marks, and save that one, and then need to go back there, see what's next. Was the assignment was 52 out of 90, so go to the assignment, enter 52. Oh, I didn't tick completed actually. I think you need to do that as well. Save that. Date mark goes in automatically as well, actually you don't need to enter that. But you tick completed, it then puts it in. So just go back to those other ones. Make sure I tick completed. So date mark's going to be updated, so that's okay, but it's the same date anyway. Save that. Test 2. So I think if it's not ticked as completed, it thinks it's maybe like a provisional grade, not the final marks. So if you're wanting it to be the final marks, tick completed. Otherwise, it won't do anything. Then go to the exam, and the exam is 84 out of 100, so 80, complete that one, 84, and then save that. And then if you go to the units, it should give that correct percentage, which is 64.36, which is 64.36. So it's done all of that for you and put the correct grade into it. Um, and then if you also go to the back end setup, the grades can be automatically put in as well. So in this course, if we go back to the Markbook, look at the Markbook rules. There's no grading scheme for this, so it doesn't automatically put the grades in when you put the points in. But if you wanted to get that set up, that would well again there could be already a different student group type available that would have those mappings in, and it'll do that for you. But it again depends on the course. But if you said, for example, that anything that was 50% to 70% was was a merit, then it would put the M into the grades. But there's no grades assigned here, so that's done though in the back office side. So I won't cover it on this video because it's more back office function. But if you were to put those in, it would do that grading for you. So I think that covers it for this video. So hope that's useful. And as you can see, there's ways to automate the setup and the calculations. So if it's all set up correctly, you can just enter in the grades. So essentially, if you've got a test where there's 10 questions, each worth, say, I don't know, 10 marks per question, enter in how well each person, the student did at each one, and then it'll automatically give an overall calculation. So hope that's useful, and please watch the other videos.